When the in-season tournament was first announced heading into this NBA season, there were a wide range of opinions being expressed. On one hand, you had the people who were excited that a little bit more spice is getting added to an 82-game regular season. And on the other, you had those who questioned if teams would even care about it. And to that second point, I think we got an answer in Tuesday night's matchup between the Kings and the Warriors, because this game felt like nothing short of a playoff atmosphere. Heading into this one, there were some pretty important implications to keep in the back of your mind. The Warriors had a chance to steal the group and advance to the next round with a win of at least 12 points. While on the other hand, if the Kings kept it within 11 or even 1, they'd automatically advance. Knowing this, it's easy to see why both squads entered with so much intensity. To open the game, Sacramento went with a set play that starts on the weak side, with Chris Duarte cutting down the middle of the lane, while Kevin Huerter curls off a screen to come get a handoff from Sabonis. Clay calls for a switch, but Looney's late to jump out, and just like that, the Red Mambas got himself 3. Golden State's opening set was really similar. It starts with a decoy handoff between Draymond and Steph so that they can clear a side of the floor for Clay to run off a curl screen from Looney. But Huerter does a good job of running him off the line, so he instead takes one dribble and sets up for a jumper from the mid-range. About 2 minutes later, the Kings still had 3 on the board, so they went back to that same set. Except this time Draymond and Steph have a miscommunication on the initial action, and that leaves Duarte all alone on a cut to the basket. I love how similar these two offenses can be at times because of how much Mike Brown learned from Steve Kerr. Like clockwork, the Warriors run virtually the exact same thing for Clay, running off of 2 screens towards the middle, and even with Sabonis coming out to the line, it's not enough to take him out of his comfort zone. From that point on though, the Kings went really cold. It's not that they couldn't create quality shots, they just simply couldn't knock them down. And I mean everybody on the team. They shot 4 of 12 from deep in the first, including this attempt at a transition pull-up from Fox that actually got blocked by Draymond. Which is pretty funny because just one play before, it was Draymond who knocked down a long-range jumper on the other side of things. Let's just say that shooting luck wasn't with the home team early on. Not that it usually is against the Splash Brothers, and Steph was looking really good out the gate. It started with this isolation early in the offense, bursting downhill as if looking to drive, only to slam the brakes and step back into an absolutely smothered 3, that he of course hits. And if that wasn't tight enough defense, the only way to get any closer would be to do what Duarte does on this one, sending him to the line for 3 free throws. Needless to say, it's going to take more than one defender to limit Steph's outside shooting, and when he draws 2 to the ball off a flare screen, it's a real simple extra pass to Dario Saric in the corner, who knocks down a triple of his own. It wasn't just Steph though. Andrew Wiggins also got in on the action early, primarily through his ability to attack mismatches. Here he gets Huerter in the low post, and that's just way too easy. Next time it was Duarte, and same thing, using his size and athleticism to create an opportunity down low, scoring through contact for a chance at 3. On the other end, it wasn't until Malik Monk checked in that the offense would start rolling, and that's because while the rest of the team was failing to capitalize from deep, he made an effort to apply constant pressure on the rim. When the outside shots aren't falling, you need that guy who can just force the issue and get downhill, and that's exactly what Monk brings to the table. A blend of skill and athleticism that can attack a defense in so many different ways. And you get that same exact combination from De'Aaron Fox, who on the very next possession used his speed and length to attack Saric in the high pick and roll, getting all the way to the rim for a tough finish. The Kings were actually able to cut the lead down to 3 with under 30 seconds left, but the Dubs finished out the quarter strong, first with Clay drawing a foul from beyond the arc, and knocking down all 3 free ones. Then on the defensive end, forcing a turnover and running the break, as GP2 does his best impression of Dr. J to extend the lead to 8. In the second quarter, Sacramento remained cold from 3, again just missing quality looks across the board. Naturally, that of course led to Draymond making his second 3 of the first half, they just couldn't catch a break. After they found themselves down 15, Huerter and Sabonis checked in at the same time, and that two-man game immediately opened up the offense, starting with another handoff and moving three. Next time down, it was the same thing, except Huerter takes one dribble before shoveling it back to Sabonis, and nobody comes over to meet the big man as he gallops his way into a dunk. So why not go back to it a third time? Huerter again takes a dribble and hits Sabonis on a roll, but now Draymond's there to close off the rim. No problem, because Domas can send a quick hitting dime to Trey Lyles in the corner, who makes Moody fly by before loading up a warm-up J, which doesn't fall. They shot 3 of 10 from 3 in the second, making it 7 of 22 for the entire half. And that doesn't just create problems for their offense, because missed threes often lead to runouts, and nobody's there to step in front of Wiggins as he spins into a soft touch floater off the glass. Speaking of Wiggins, his first half was nothing short of a masterclass. He scored 18 points on 70% shooting, which included utilizing all 3 levels multiple times. And the aggression with which he attacked also helped him create for others, like this kick out to Klay Thompson, who had 17 of his own in the first 2 quarters. So you've got 18 from Wiggs, 17 from Klay, and of course Steph was doing Steph things, knocking down this off-ball 3, and when he's met with some overzealous ball pressure, using his all-time great handle to get into the defense for a soft touch finish. Quite literally, the only thing keeping Sacramento within striking distance was the play of Harrison Barnes, who scored 9 second quarter points while missing just 1 shot. They actually fell behind by 24 during this time, but did do just enough to close that lead a bit by halftime, heading into the break with a 17-point deficit. In quarter number 3, both Steph and Wiggins kept cooking, scoring 8 points each, as it looked like they were just getting whatever they wanted. But there was one key difference. Klay Thompson went cold. After a scorching hot first half, he shot just 1 of 4, didn't make a single 3, and all of a sudden the 3-headed snake that recorded 72 first half points turned to 2, which is a lot easier to survive. It also helps that the Warriors as a whole cooled off from deep, only knocking down 1 in the quarter, and like I said in the first half, missed threes can lead to easy runouts. This time it was Kevin Huerter stepping into wide open space for a triple. It was clearly a point of emphasis and adjustment for the Kings to play with as much pace as possible, so that they're not relying on jump shooting, but attacking early in the offense against an unset defense so that they could apply pressure on the rim. And when things slowed down, that 2-man game between Huerter and Sabonis worked really well again. This time when Huerter puts it on the deck, nobody else comes to meet him, so he's able to get all the way to the cup for 2. This next one starts from out of bounds. Huerter gets the ball and immediately gives it to Sabonis near the elbow. Now usually, Huerter would follow his pass to receive a handoff, but when Steph fronts him, he instead cuts off a back screen, and nobody's down low to prevent easy offense at the rim. The real hero of this quarter though was De'Aaron Fox, who decided that after a quiet first half, he was done settling for jumpers. He attacked the rim quite literally every single time he touched the ball, which not only led to higher percentage looks, but also helped him generate a boatload of free throws. The Kings shot 20 free throws in this quarter and 30 in the second half overall, in large part due to Fox's constant pressure, inviting contact and playing through it on these drives. Once that slashing threat was established, that's when he started to search for other scoring avenues. Notice how Steph overplays the drive while Fox hesitates, and that's just way too much space to not take the 3. He had 11 points and 3 assists in the third, all culminating in this play right here where he shreds Steph in isolation, draws all 5 Warrior defenders to the paint, and earns himself another trip to the line. A 40-point quarter from the Kings cuts the lead down to 9. After an explosive third filled with nothing but offense, it was actually Sacramento's defense that stole the show in quarter number 4. They made it abundantly clear that they would blitz and trap Steph with every opportunity, forcing others to make plays and knock down shots. but the supporting guys really started to struggle. Klay remained cold, not scoring a single point in the fourth, but the bigger problem is that Wiggins also started to slow down, only shooting 1 of 5, meaning that the three-headed snake was now down to 1, and the Kings could throw literally everything at him. I want you to watch Trey Lyles on this possession. He picks up Steph on a ball screen that's set at half court, chases Curry down the middle of the lane on a drive, then peels onto Looney down low and swats away a dunk. Does it get more playoff-esque than that? Or how about this one, where two go with Steph, and he just keeps his dribble alive as he patiently hunts for an opportunity to strike. And once he's finally able to create a lane, here comes a third defender from the weak side corner. Like I said, all eyes on Curry. There was only one guy in the fourth who was consistently punishing the Kings' over-aggressive coverage, and that's Moses Moody, here absolutely destroying a closeout with a baseline drive as he gets to the rim for a dunk. And on this next one, there isn't anybody left to close out, so he's left with all the time in the world to set his feet and fire off a three. Moody looked like Golden State's savior, shooting a perfect 100% as he scored a quick 11 points, and considering the Warriors only scored 19 in the quarter, if my math is correct, that's more than half. Unfortunately though, he was pulled down the stretch of the game for Wiggins, and let's just say that fans weren't too happy with Steve Kerr. As for the other side of the ball, De'Aaron Fox continued his late game takeover. There's a reason he's the reigning clutch player of the year, going into these modes where he looks completely unstoppable, and he does it in so many different ways, whether that's in transition, the high pick and roll, isolation, it just looks so effortless for him. He played all 12 minutes of the fourth, along with newly acquired Sasha Vezenkov, who was a pleasant surprise down the stretch. He had a couple big threes, including this absolute bomb with Moody right in his grill, but I want you to look at the time. Just over 5 minutes remaining, because after that point, they couldn't buy a bucket, creating open look after open look but failing to convert as they went scoreless for nearly 3.5 minutes. The Kings found themselves down 6 with about 1:20 left in the game, and it was again De'Aaron Fox who kept them alive, knocking down a wide open triple. The Warriors then came down and created an open 3 for Draymond, but he's unable to knock this one down, only for Wiggins to fly in and keep it a 2-possession game. Ball back in the hands of Fox, he's going to use a ball screen to see if he can get that switch onto Steph. But when the Warriors don't cooperate, he instead turns on the Jets to attack that now open space, and gets to the cup where he's able to draw his 16th and 17th free throws. After hitting 1 of 2, the Kings go to a full court press, and Malik Monk's able to steal a pass in the backcourt. From there,
for the steal, Fox. Thompson right on him. Herder, extra pass. Monk now, sidestep, three-pointer. It's good! Kings have a chance to take the lead here. Wiggins with 5 fouls. Monk drives on him. Monk hangs, and he scores! What a basket! Malik Monk gives the Kings the lead. Clock ticks. Curry with the ball. Puts it up. That's it. The Kings win. A furious comeback. It is Monk with the eventual game winner.
both Steph and Wiggins finished with 29 apiece. The Warriors as a whole shot a scorching 41.5% from 3. But it wasn't enough to survive Mike Brown's offense, led by the likes of Fox, Monk, and Kevin Huerter. The Kings stole a win in a game they trailed by as much as 24, remaining undefeated through their 4 in-season tournament games, and advancing to the next round. These two teams showed us exactly why it was such a good idea for the NBA to make the regular season a little more interesting. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website and social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you thought of this game. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.